Hey, how's it going, guys? Welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is George Umana and I'm your friendly neighborhood anime and manga fan. I love all things anime and all things manga, and I'm here today to talk about Berserk chapter 375. So, what did I think about this week's chapter? In all honesty, I thought this week's chapter was great. I thought it did a really good job at setting up what's to come in the future. And now we're really, like I said, setting up like the final confrontation of the story and how we're going to get from point A to point B. Specifically, how all these characters are going to come together and fight Griffith and Falconia. And from what we got in this week's chapter, really, set up that in the sense that now that the Kushan Empire, interacts with Guts' party, and we get to see why they even, apprehended Guts' party and that ship, as well as we get to see Ricker finally get to see Guts, and it was a really nice moment that I really enjoyed. Now, before I go any farther with this week's chapter, I just wanted to give you guys a quick reminder to make sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel so you guys can be up to date with all my Berserk as well as all my anime and manga content that I'll be providing in this channel. It really helps out a lot, and I would really appreciate it if you could subscribe to my YouTube channel. So if you guys could, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Now, with all that out of the way, let's get into this week's chapter. So this week's chapter pretty much picks up where we left off, where we see that, the ship is being apprehended by the Kushan Empire. You see Guts' party, being chained up. And we also start off by seeing, Salat. Salat is just talking about like how the reason they even apprehended this ship is because they think, they're in the Kushan like side of the world, they're by the river or the ocean, whatever, and they think it's an enemy ship because it makes sense. I mean, it's a warship, and they're thinking about it maybe from Falconia, so they don't want to take any chances. So they invaded that ship to make sure to see what's in there. And it was just nice seeing Salat, and Salat like definitely didn't know anything that was going on. And you see that Daiba, they have a nice exchange where, Daiba had this whole, like, I wouldn't say prophecy, more like a premonition of like, like you will find something under the moonlight and something that's drowning. And I think that was obviously a metaphor for Guts and how he's drowning in his despair at the moment. And I think it's going to be really fun seeing Salat reuniting with Guts because it's been so long and they have history. And I think it'll be very funny if, like, Guts is like, who are you again? And then Salat is like, do you remember me? Golden Age, you don't remember me? I think it'll be a really nice touch once we do see them to reunite. We don't see them in this chapter reuniting, but I'm sure that obviously later in the future we will. And continuing in that trend, we pretty much see Guts, and Guts is chained up, and he's broken. Pretty straightforward. He's very broken and just drowning in despair. And it makes sense. I mean, we've seen the following chapters where Guts has just been, at his lowest, I would argue, in the entire series. And I think that this is a very crucial moment for his character. A lot of the themes and, interactions he's going to have going forward will really pay off, how he's going to be able to resolve this trauma and just everything that's been going on with him. Because Guts, like I said, Guts is a broken man, and he needs to be, he needs his friends and, to be there to support him. And I know that now that Ricker's there, he's definitely going to play that part. And another person that really helped out, supporting Guts, he was in chains and he falls, and, you see Farnese, Roderick, and the rest of the party just looking at Guts like, wow, this is like depressing because he's in the floor, he's chained up, and we all know how powerful Guts is. I mean, the party has always seen Guts like as this, unstoppable force that just kind of like Superman. You never think that he's gonna be taken down, and when you see him like just giving up hope and just broken, it really hits home for them, like, because they never seen Guts this down ever up to this point in the story. And one person that really hits at home is Isidro, and I think the way that Isidro was written in this chapter was very well. I thought I'm not like I know a lot of people don't really like Isidro. I think that I'm not the biggest Isidro fan, but I still appreciate his character for what it is. And I think that this week's chapter, it really, paint a picture in Isidro in a very good, positive way. Because, you got to think about it. Throughout the entire story, Guts has been like Isidro's like Superman. Like, he's been his hero, his role model, the person he looks up to. He inspires to be somebody like Guts. And when you see Guts as, at such a weak moment like he is currently in the story, Isidro just breaks down. He's like, what are you doing? Like, you why you let yourself get chained up? Like, what's wrong with you? Get up, like, fight. You could take them all out. Like, what are you doing? And he starts just like screaming, like, get up, like, stop being a dumbass, like, get up and fight. And I think that was a deliberate way as well for Isidro to talk to the audience as well. I think that's how some fans have been thinking about, like, well, Guts has been just like depressed and in the floor for many chapters now. But I think that that's very elaborate. I think that's very smart, and we need that. We need Guts to really hit home. Like, yes, he is at his lowest. Like, because Casca got taken away, and I think that the way that Mori and the rest of Studio Gaga has just been doing an amazing job, especially with Guts is like in a struggle. I think they've been depicting it perfectly, like in a man that's just depressed. And I think that Isidro in this chapter really, paint a picture like, Isidro's role model is, it's that thing. It's kind of that reality where you think like somebody is untouchable, but then you see them at their weakest. And I think that's, hitting Isidro. And I think that will impact not just Isidro going forward, but I think that, Isidro, the stuff that Isidro's telling Guts, like how he portrays Guts, will later come back to Guts and be like, thanks, man. Like, I really appreciated that. I needed that. I needed to hear that to get up. And yeah, overall, I think Isidro, really good part of the chapter. I think that was arguably my favorite part of the chapter. Besides Rickard, we see Rickard and he's just introducing to everybody, and he's I love Rickard. He's such a gentleman. He's always like, he's a sweetheart, best boy. Love him to death. And he's just like explaining the things to the rest of the crew. It's like, hey, like, what's up, guys? It's pretty cool like learning, like it's pretty cool just the fact that I get to speak my own language with other people. And you see just Rickard introducing himself to Roderick, and I thought that was like the most Giga Chad thing ever, because Roderick the Giga Chad meeting the other Giga Chad, Rickard. Just, if Guts gets up, they gotta do like a three-way bromance, drinking, like, just the Giga Chats are uniting, and I'm loving it. And throughout the chapter, you see like Rickard just like, yeah, so we had to take down, like, we misunderstood you guys because we thought you were enemy, but sorry to tell you this, but we're gonna seize your ship, so sucks to be you. And he's just telling that to Roderick, and Roderick's like, well, I guess. And pretty much how the chapter ends is that, they're setting to the Kushin, like, headquarters. And at first I thought it was gonna be like a small little, because the way that Salat has been talking about it seemed like a hideout, but it seems more like a little city / minor, minuscule kingdom. It's not like as big as the Kushin Empire of, like, Ganishka, but it's probably gonna be like a nice little city, I would say. And we just see Roderick and them settling, and that's how the chapter ends. Pretty much, we're setting up that Guts is gonna go there, and I'm wondering now, like, because Griffith, the last time we saw him, he said that he's gonna head to the east, because that's, where the price is at. And I'm wondering if it happens to be the same place that Guts and his party are going currently right now with the Kushan Empire, because if it is, there's gonna be a bunch of conflict. And I don't think right now they're in a position where they can take down Griffith. I think they gotta unite forces, rattling up the armies and get the battle ready for the final conclusion where they fight Falconia. But overall, I thought this week's chapter was great, and I'm really looking forward to see like how Guts gets out of this, despair, because Guts has just been a broken man for the better half of like 10 chapters or so. Like pretty much ever since Griffith took Casca away, we just haven't seen Guts like suffering. And I'm really curious to see what Rickard tells him, or how he's able to bring Guts back to reality and, get him to fight again, because if anybody's going to do it, I think it's going to be Rickard. I think Rickard's going to be an essential part in the plot going forward, because Rickard is that dude. Rickard is Guts' brother, I would say. If people compare Guts and Griffith, like they called themselves brothers back in the day, well, Rickard was like everybody's younger brother in the Band of the Hawk. So I think that he needs family, and I think that this party's gonna be there, and Farnese and the Sarpiko and them, and Rickard's gonna be there, and I think that the two of them will be able to bring Guts back, because I want to see my man come back, because I just hate seeing my man broken and sad, and I'm sure you guys do too. So let's all pray and hope that we see our man Guts in full glory, and get his mojo back, and eventually take down Griffith, the bastard that he is, and destroy him and Falconia. But yeah, with that, all that being said, I love this week's chapter. And what did you guys think about this week's chapter? Did you guys love it? Did you guys hate it? Did you guys think it was alright? Whatever you guys thought, let me know in the comment section down below. Also, thank you so much for sticking all the way to the end of the video. I really appreciate it. And don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to my YouTube channel for more Berserk, as well as more anime and manga content in the near future. But yeah, with that being said, I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Bye bye.